Welcome to Your Money's Worth with the Mixdown. Now, here's Mick.
12:02 on a Freaky Friday. Welcome to the show, Your Money's Worth on the Mixter, broadcasted live right here out of our Fort Lauderdale studios across the world on N2.tv. We've got a special show today. We're going to bring on a couple of real fine guests. One of them is a software company, which is really extraordinary when you look at it today. So many companies are out there, and the ability to contact each other in time of disaster or a terrorist act, developed by a jet pilot a fantastic jet pilot, flew F-16s, went to the Air Force Academy. Sorry about that. And did a great job. We're going to bring on Larry Reed, the CEO of ClearTronic, which is trading under the symbol CLRI right now, an audited, fully reporting company since 2008. And then after that, we're going to go ahead with the hemp industry being so broad right now and so hot, the marijuana industry. A company out of Houston, Texas, which has come up with a terrific drink called Rocky Mountain High, which is assorted flavors. It's also an energy drink. And unlike most today, which are caffeine-based, and you have such a problem with caffeine drinks because of the youth of America today, shooting, let's say, 10, 12 of these things, and they go into trachycardia. This here has no after effect. Their sales are terrific. It's run by a fellow, founded by Jerry Grisafi, a fellow I know for a better part of a decade. And he teamed up with Tom Schumann. And Tom used to pitch touchdowns for Penn State. In fact, he was the most valuable player in the 1974 Orange Bowl, where they destroyed Nebraska. Tom got the MVP in that. And after that, he branched out and he went into the beverage industry after his football career. And he's been in it just about all his life. They came up with some serious news today that one of the advisors who's joined Hemp, it's totally Hemp Crazy, the company, is one of the guys that, in fact, the main guy who took Red Bull, and turned it into the success it is today. And when he took it over, it was basically in bankruptcy. He jumped it to almost 300 million units per year. So we're going to talk to them both. Jerry and Tom will call in from their Houston headquarters, and Larry Reed will be joining me here in a few minutes when we get into it, and it should be a great day. CLRI is ClearTronic. Now, we all remember what happened, with the World Trade Center. It was almost impossible for communications. Phone lines were completely jammed. Nobody could communicate because there was just an overload. And if you ever made a phone call on New Year's Eve at 12 o'clock, you'll know what I mean. It's just everything went hectic, so information could not be shared between the Port Authority Police, the NYPD, the Transit Police, which ran the train tracks underneath the World Trade Tower, the Fire Department, the ATF, the FBI, and the other agencies. Well, they recognized this. And what they did was they developed a program and a software, combined it with what they had as far as hardware, and have come up with the better mousetrap in plain and simple terms. And it is cloud-based, unlike other softwares that are out there. So as long as you have internet, this thing works, and you can't interrupt it. They actually took my cell phone and turned it into a radio phone, which I just with a push of a button, I was able to communicate just like a walkie-talkie. And I've never seen anything like that. So we're going to come back, and we're going to talk to Larry Reed right after we get into the program, which will come back in about a few minutes. And I got to tell you, okay, I'm looking forward to speaking to these people. We'll be right back at you. I'm the Mixter. Don't go away. A lot on the boards today. We're going to have a good time right here on the Beasley Network.
My name is Sue Smith. I'm 38 years old, and I work at a graphic design company, which is funny, because I couldn't even draw a stick figure when I was a kid. But I met someone who told me, you know what? You can do anything if you really want to. And if the teenage me were here, she'd tell you,
I wouldn't be into drawing and art if it wasn't for big brothers, big sisters. Most kids from my neighborhood don't get into art. They get into trouble. But I was lucky because my big sister showed me early on that I didn't have to be like most people. And to the young me,
that meant a lot. My big sister's name is Sheila, and Sheila is the reason that this 8-year-old grows up to have an amazing job as a graphic designer.
Whether you donate money or time, you're helping Big Brothers Big Sisters help a child, and that can last a lifetime. Start something today at bigbrothersbigsisters.org. Brought to you by Big Brothers Big Sisters and the Ad Council.
Great party, huh, guys?
Yeah, it is. So much fun.
I do say so myself. Hey, did you know that birthday parties actually help build confidence in kids?
Yeah, I did know that.
Did you know that giving kids less sugar before bedtime helps them sleep better?
Right, of course.
Yeah, I knew that. Did you know that strollers have the right of way on sidewalks?
Oh yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, that's true. Did you know that friendly kids statistically have more friends?
Everyone knows that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
obvious.
Hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
I didn't know that.
Think I knew that.
No, you didn't.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the show. I'm the Mixter. We're sitting here right now with Mr. Larry Reed from ClearTronic, Inc. And Larry, it's good to see you over here today. I'm really having a good time on the show. And, I made a lot about the World Trade Centers, the fire, but also this software combined with your hardware, all right, can make a difference in like a Hurricane Wilma where communications just completely go down.
Absolutely, Mick.
Okay.
Sure can.
Yeah. How long has ClearTronic been in business?
We've been in the systems integration business for a number of years. We've been doing first responders. We've been doing commercial airports throughout the United States, and pretty soon we're going to be doing one in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
We've also been selling our patented radio over IP gateways through resellers worldwide.
Right, and it's taken you years to get this developed. I mean, this is something like you didn't start on Tuesday. I mean,
no.
Years of research.
It's years of research and development and trying to get it right and file for the patent and do all the things that you need to do to protect your product.
Right. And now that you've taken it to market, when did you start marketing this product? You just about came out of the gate only a few months ago.
Well, the hardware we've been marketing for about 3 years. The software, we just signed a new agreement at the end of March. So we just started marketing the software that is combined with our hardware to make a premium interoperable solution. And we just started marketing that in April.
Right, and I was looking at some of your client list. You've been, I guess I got to say, you landed Harris County, which is the city of Houston, the Miami Fire Department. I mean, you're meeting tremendous success with this.
Early adopters have been, you're right, Miami-Dade Fire is an early adopter to it. We just signed up the Harris County Emergency Operations Center, as you said.
Which is the city of Houston.
Which is the city of Houston. Florida Department of Law Enforcement is using it.
The FDLE.
FDLE. So there's a number of people that are currently using it, and we're adding new customers every week.
Right. And really right now you're building the infrastructure of the company, which is basically developing a sales force, because I know that you're limited as far as sales, and now you're starting to get inbound calls where people want to see the product, but you just can't service it.
Exactly. There's not enough hours in the day to see all the people that are interested in seeing our software and hardware.
Right. And from what we were speaking about earlier, even internationally, people now are looking to take over rights or trying to come at you and say, listen, but you're not looking at international at all right now.
Well, we're doing international. We work with the State Department of the United States, and we're currently servicing the Colombia National Police Force. That's the whole country of Colombia.
I saw that in your brochure. I got a question for you also. Traditionally, okay, the antennas are the first things to go down in any catastrophe like a Hurricane Wilma. You're cloud-based. Explain to what cloud-based is versus what the traditional way is today.
Well, being based in the cloud allows us to locate our software at a server facility that is backed up in a number of different ways at different locations throughout the world. We happen to use Amazon services. And it's the same software. It's encrypted. It's the same software that the U.S. government uses. Not the same software, but it's the same hosted facility or cloud facility that the government uses.
So if something, let's say a hurricane came through and took out everything on the ground,
this service center, it would switch over to another service center in California or London, wherever it might be.
And, when Jim Kincannon, your head tech, when he turned my cell phone into a radio phone.
Right.
So even if the phone lines are down, as long as you have airwaves, you could continually talk, and as long as you have internet.
Well, you need to have IP. You need to have internet access.
But internet is also cloud-based in most cases.
Well,
right?
in a way, yes, it is. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So you can circle. And what I liked about it was all the agencies can speak to each other with instant information, providing they subscribe to this program.
That is correct.
And that was the problem they had at the World Trade Towers, where all the agencies, the information couldn't get to the agencies at one time. The triage was set up underneath the towers that came down. 2 agencies were informed by the engineers that the structure was in jeopardy, but they couldn't get word there fast enough to get those people out of there.
Terrible tragedy. I'm not saying we could have solved all the problems
there. They didn't
there,
have that technology. It would be unfair to say that.
Right.
But really, they even passed the law in Congress that where agencies have to share information. The left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing. The NYPD and the FBI are always at odds. They don't want to share information. Mm-hmm. But in times of tragedy, it's essential because minutes equate to lives saved. And that's, I guess, what ClearTronics is all about, developed by a jet pilot.
There you go.
He recognized the fact that air, land, and sea had to coordinate with the ground troops.
There you go.
And that's the story I was told. And that's what he shot for as far as that goes.
He's a very bright guy.
Well, obviously, because he impressed the heck out of me, that's for sure. But then again, who am I to say? So your reception's been good. Where do you see the company going over the next 6 to 12 months as far as sales force and promotion and getting the word out on this?
Well, Mick, we believe we're going to grow quite rapidly. Now, being a public company, I can't discuss any kind of projections or anything like that. Mm-hmm. We believe that we've got a great product. We've got the best product out there, both the software and the hardware. And we feel like we can grow the company dramatically. Right. But I can't give you any projections of sorts today at all.
Speaking of that, you just recently canceled about 94% of your actual shares. You canceled over 2 billion shares of stock, which has basically condensed the company, increasing shareholder value.
That's correct, Mick. What we wanted to do, or what I wanted to do, was when we signed the agreement with ReadyUp, I wanted to make sure that the shareholders of the company were getting the best bang for their buck, if you will.
Right.
I happened to own a little over 2 billion shares at the time, and I signed a new employment agreement with the company, mm-hmm. and I agreed to cancel my 2 billion shares in exchange for 200,000 shares of Series C preferred.
Right.
The Series C preferred it's a convertible preferred stock. It converts at 5 shares for each 1 share of preferred. So at some point in time...
And there's a strike point on this. You just can't go out and do it now.
No. I'm restricted from doing anything for 2 years.
Okay. So there's a lockup and there's a good consolidation on the stock. You, unlike most companies, you are audited. Your financials are audited, yet you remain on the pink sheets, much like Toyota does. Toyota is a pink sheet company, and they also are audited. You could move to a better exchange if you wanted to. You could go to the OTCBB or even get invited to the NASDAQ once you get your legs under you.
Absolutely. We elected in January not to move to the OTC Bulletin Board. It was a fairly large number that they wanted as an initiation fee and then as an annual fee. Cash is precious to us right now because we're trying to grow our business. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with the pink sheets. We're a fully reporting company. Our statements are audited. All you have to do is go to sec.gov and type in the word ClearTronic, and you can see every filing that we've done since 2008.
Your new filings that are coming out, I believe they're due in about a week or so.
Well, the deadline actually is today, but we filed for an automatic extension.
And that's a 5-day extension.
5-day extension.
Another week, right?
Well, the weekend counts. So
okay.
The 10Q will be filed on Wednesday, May 20th.
Looking at developing a sales force and trying to bring more people on of talent to understand this. Now, I know Jim Kincannon, he within, I'd say, an hour, I was pretty familiar. You simplified this software in a lot of ways to make it easier for people to know. You need a pilot's license to operate some of this software that I've seen over the years, which is what hindered their sales.
Right.
It wasn't easy enough. Yours seems to be one touch, and then to integrate it into the hardware, which you possessed,
right,
and put the merger together. That seems to have fallen into place and really benefited this company.
It really has, and we're really excited about the future of the company.
When do you think that you're going to hit the West Coast? Because I know, in speaking with others, the West Coast right now, the West Coast of the United States is really looking. California's huge. Northern California cannot communicate with Southern California. There's 500 miles between them, much like Miami and Jacksonville. When do you think you're going to be out west?
Let me give you a few examples of some of the people that we're working with already. The state of Colorado is almost totally using ReadyOp for emergency operations. The Department of Transportation is using it. Denver Rapid Transit is using it. A number of agencies in Colorado are on board with ReadyOp. In addition, we've been talking to Salt Lake City. There's some business going on there that we expect to, get fairly soon. We're also talking around with the city of Seattle, both their transit department and the city government themselves.
Didn't Mark just go out to Seattle?
He was in Seattle, yes, he was.
Mark is the former fighter pilot.
Mark Moore is the brains behind. He and his software engineer are the brains behind ReadyOp software.
Mm-hmm. And you anticipate that I guess you're going to have to develop yourself a sales force because of the abundance of workload.
Well,
you got to get your legs under you, let's face it.
Right. Well, we just expanded our board about 3 months ago to we added two new members. One was Mark Moore, and the other one was Richard Lafley. And Richard Lafley has a company called the Global Food Exchange.
Yeah, we were speaking about that.
He's a very bright man we just welcomed him with open arms to the board.
What he does is in times of disaster.
In times of disaster, when people need water, food, he has the ability to deliver those things instantly, almost immediately, as warehouses around the world stocked with emergency food supplies, water supplies, etc. So if there is a disaster at some point, he has the ability to go in and provide the necessary things to keep people alive.
So I guess he fits perfectly into a software.
He does. As a matter of fact, I might be talking a little bit out of school, but I believe that we're very close to signing up another South American country for both Global Food Exchange and for ReadyOp.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So internationally, you've already taken the steps overseas.
Our hardware we're selling right now in probably 20 different countries around the world. Mm-hmm. I just got an order yesterday for some of our hardware units in Italy. Mm-hmm. So we sell Singapore. I mean, we sell all over the world.
Weren't you working with some people in Saudi Arabia, or was it Kuwait, or someplace in the Middle East that they had? First of all, you basically take it from English and you can put it into every language.
Well, yes, you could, because you're communicating. First of all, ReadyOp communicates via email, via telephone, via text, via instant message, or via two-way radio.
Right.
So you've got all of those different forms of communication available to you at your fingertips.
Right.
So if you want to send a text message to a certain group, all you have to do is type the message and hit send to that group, and every person in that group will get that text message. If you want to make a call, a conference call, let's say, to every member in that group, you simply make the call. They don't have to dial in. You make the call, and the call goes through, and you've immediately got a conference. If you want to use an email instead of a text, you can use an email. You want to use an instant message, use an instant message. So there's so many ways. It's so powerful in the way it's able to communicate that it's
instantaneous.
It's instantaneous, yes, it is.
So the sharing of information through government bodies, through the different agencies, through business.
And especially think of it this way, we are able to connect with two-way radio systems.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't make any difference what frequency it is, what type of system it is, whether it's Kenwood, whether it's Motorola, whether it's Harris. It doesn't make any difference. Our gateway provides the link to be able to connect a Motorola system that may be operating in Miami with a Kenwood system that may be operating in Broward County. Can't do that today unless you've got the ability to connect them via IP, and we make the gateway that makes that happen.
Again, it's ClearTronic. The symbol is CLRI. You can find it on the pink sheets. It's fully audited. We're here with Larry Reed. We're going to come back right after this. We'll go get a couple of sponsors in, and we'll come right back.
Did you know that there are greater than 1,500 kids in Palm Beach County alleged to be victims of abuse, neglect, or abandonment?
Fewer than 80% of those children are afforded a guardian ad litem.
That leaves these children with no voice in the court system.
Guardians ad litem represent the best interest of children involved in abuse cases.
We are information gatherers, advocates, and monitors who visit the child, review relevant records, interview persons involved in the child's life, and submit best interest recommendations to the court.
Without a guardian, these children are more likely to languish in foster care.
It is time for you to speak up for our county's most vulnerable. Call 561-355-6224 or visit www.galpbc.org for more information. You can make a difference in a child's life.
Can you tell if this burger contains bacteria that could cause kidney failure? Listen. Can't, can you? You can't see it either. There's only one way to tell if you've cooked meat and poultry to a bacteria-killing temperature. Use a food thermometer. It's not an extra step or a nice to have. Raw or undercooked meat may contain bacteria that can make you very sick, or worse. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year, and roughly 3,000 will die. But you can keep your family safer by using a food thermometer every time. Learn more about this and other important information. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. That's foodsafety.gov. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Back on the show, your money's worth. I'm the Mixter. You know, it's funny because the hurricane season's almost upon us right here in South Florida. There goes Scruffy the dog. He's blowing right out the side door. Listen, we've all lived through it. We remember Wilma. We remember some of us, like, been here for Andrew, for example. You got to protect yourself and protect your property, and the best way to do that is with impact windows, and nobody does it better than Sudden Impact Window and Doors. Wood sliders, you got French doors, put in new windows, increase the value of your home while protecting the goods inside, and nobody does it better than Sudden Impact Windows and Doors. Did my house out in Coral Springs about 10 years ago. They've been in business forever down here. Reputable, licensed, bonded, insured. The best, I got to say, the best installers that you'll ever see at a price that can't be beat. Sudden Impact Windows and Doors will come out, give you a free estimate from top to bottom, whether you want to put some sliders in, you want to open up the pool area, maybe some French doors going out to the patio, or just your windows throughout the place. Sudden Impact Windows and Doors. Been in business forever right here in Broward and Dade County, Palm Beach counties. Give them a call. Go out, get a price. They'll come in, they'll beat it all because they're factory direct. Why pay more when you can get great service, great product from Sudden Impact Windows and Doors? 954-464-0296. Once again, that number, 954-464-0296. Tell them the Mixter sent you, and go ahead and get yourself all done up with a great package of windows. 954-464-0296. Sudden Impact Windows and Doors. Tell them I sent you. Well, Larry, that was great. I want to invite you back, and hopefully next time you come in, you'll bring Mark Moore with you. And
I'd like that very much.
Yeah, I would like to do it. A true hero, a fighter pilot, a graduate of the Air Force Academy who developed this software. And by the sounds of it, you really got the better mousetrap here. And at least we have an understanding of how it works and what you're doing with the company. Again, the symbol is CLRI, ClearTronic Inc. And we'll look at your sales next time you come with Mark, and we'll talk about the new innovations that you're working on right now.
Great. Thank you, Mick.
Great having you.
Have a great day.
Mr. Larry Reed, CEO and President of ClearTronic. We're going to go to a break. We're going to come back with a good friend of mine, Jerry Grisafi, calling us from Texarkana, Texas. He's out in Houston. And Tom Schumann will be back right after this.